Sun's out, guns out, so what better way to spend a sunny day than sitting in a dark room for 2 hours watching a movie? Sounds pretty good to me. I've seen the drama, let's talk. Hey, welcome back to the video, a brand new movie review. Today I'm talking all about the drama. It's new in cinemas across the UK, starring Robert Patterson and Zendaya. I have seen it before we start talking about it. As always, a friendly reminder, these are just my thoughts. Don't let this dictate whether or not you go and see it. You might see it, it feels totally different to me, and that is okay. Movies aren't made to cater for everyone. Without further ado, let's start talking about this film. And before we do as well, just another reminder, I'm going to keep this movie review spoiler free. There's obviously massive, if you've seen the trailer, you'll know there is an unannounced plot twist that is basically the whole centre of this story. I'm not going to talk about it, I'm going to keep it spoiler free, but if you literally don't want to see anything, then don't watch this movie review until you've seen the movie. But yeah, I'm going to try and keep it as spoiler free as I can. And annoyingly, through gritted teeth, I say I was very disappointed, very underwhelmed by this movie. And I feel like because I'd seen the trailer so many times, I was so hyped up for this film, like I was really excited. And I just felt a little bit let down, shall we say. I don't know. My biggest problem with this film, I think, is it just felt a bit pointless at times. The concept of this film was great. I really enjoyed it. I thought both the leading characters did a great job. The acting, I thought it was pretty fun. But I think the problem with this film is the first sort of 30 minutes, I was engaged. Start to finish, and then we sort of hit this midpoint once her big secret has been revealed and we find out what that is. From then onwards, for the next sort of 30, 40 minutes, felt very stagnant. It almost felt like we'd hit a wall and it was filler. And the story didn't feel like it was going anywhere. It just felt very flat, very underwhelming. And I felt they wanted to do like these like montage scenes. They never quite hit the spot. And then once we get to the wedding, the last sort of 15-ish minutes of the movie, it picks back up again. So for me, the impression that I got, obviously this is not the case, but the impression that I got was the first 30 minutes and the final 15 minutes was the movie. They made the movie and gone, oh no, this movie's only 45 minutes. Let's add something else. And that's kind of what the filler in the middle of the movie felt like. So obviously that's not the case, but that is kind of the impression that I got, and that's what it felt like when I was watching this movie. So that's my biggest flaw with this film, and that's kind of why I felt very disappointed, very underwhelmed, purely because for a lot of the movie I kind of felt like this is pointless. This is adding nothing to the story. And although we're kind of getting to learn a little bit more about these side characters, if you were, that means nothing, ultimately, at the end of the day. It means nothing. And I knew enough about them anyway from the first 30 minutes that I didn't need this kind of fluff and filler to learn a little bit more. Does that make sense? However, having said that though, the main characters, I feel like we didn't really know much about. We got glimpses of their childhood and stuff like that, which kind of gave us a little bit of an inkling of them and kind of who they are, and set up a little bit more about their kind of character to audience relationship. But on the whole, I didn't really feel like I knew much about them, so I didn't really gather what they were like as people. Were they intelligent? Were they putting on this front? Like, I don't know, which I feel like they could have done a little bit more of. But having said that, that's a lot of negatives. Having said that, I did like the way they started this film, in the sense of like, we start planning the wedding. Like, we kind of get introduced to these characters, like love story, by introducing the wedding, which I thought was quite, well, not unique, but I thought was quite a slick way to gateway the entrance to this movie. And, you know, I enjoyed the way that they kind of set out the first 30 minutes until we then sort of hit a wall. But I don't know, I liked the way they did that. And again, this is an A24 movie. I have love-hate relationships with A24 movies. And I'm not going to lie, I was expecting this to be my favourite A24 movie yet. And it's not. And I do feel like throughout the movie, I could feel my rating of this movie getting lower and lower. Through gritted teeth, because I really did want to enjoy it. And I am underwhelmed, ultimately. And that's kind of all I can really say. I do feel very underwhelmed and disappointed by this movie. There are a lot of people who are saying similar things to me. There are a lot of people saying this is like the best film they've seen of the year, which I'd like to say I can see, but I can't understand that personally. But then again, that's why movies, you know, aren't made for every single person on this planet, and everyone has different opinions. But yeah, for me, underwhelming and a little bit disappointing, but that doesn't take away from how good Zendaya and Robert were in this movie. I thought they were both terrific within this film. So yeah, there's my thoughts on the drama. It's in cinemas across the UK right now. As always, before we wrap up this movie review, what to rate it out of 10? Will it join my DVD collection? I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. At the start, it was an 8, then it dropped to a 7, and I settled on a 6. Will it join my collection? Possibly. This is one of those movies where, yes, I can see it in my collection. I can't see it being in my collection from day one, though. So maybe when it comes down in price, when there's nothing really else major that I want to buy, I can see myself owning it, not straight away. There's my answer to that question. Like I say, the drama in cinemas across the UK. Right now, in the description below is the movie plot, a link to the movie trailer, as well as a link to my movie review playlist. It features every single movie review that I've ever done. There's more to come soon, including the new Sky movie called Fuse. I'm also going to see California Screaming soon as well, so you'll hear movie reviews on those very soon, and loads more movies to come in April, including Michael, which I'm very excited about. You'll hear my thoughts on that at the end of the month. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in another video, and fingers crossed, another movie review very soon.